Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Johnston County Board of Commissioners, February 16th, 6 p.m. meeting. And welcome to those who might be watching our live feed, as well as those who may watch the broadcast later on at your convenience. We welcome you here today. The first item of business, we always like to begin our meetings with an invocation and a pledge of allegiance to our flag. I've asked Commissioner Pace Davis to lead us in the invocation, and then Commissioner Stevens to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If you choose to do so, please stand with us as we do that.
All right, if you would please bow your heads and pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for all the rain that you sent us yesterday. Please grant us clarity and wisdom and respect for our meeting. Please bless all the citizens here, and please help just guide our decisions that we're making tonight. And in your name we pray. Amen.
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 If you would choose to salute or cover your flag, cover your chest, excuse me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. First item on the agenda is the approval and discussion of the agenda. This time I'll accept a motion to approve or make any modifications that need to be made.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make the recommendation we move item number 6, our presentation on the audit, up to item number 3.
I second that.
All right, any other changes? Hearing none, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the agenda is adopted. All right. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. And so, and before I move to that, let me also say to the board members, there are 5 positions available open on the Johnston County Planning Board. You should have a ballot at your seat to give you an opportunity for all those who have applied for those positions. You can choose up to 5. If you would, make those choices sometime throughout the meeting and route them down to our deputy clerk. She will tabulate those scores, and we will make that announcement toward the end of the meeting this evening. Consent agenda, there are 7 items on that. There's Department of Transportation additions to the system. The Town of Micro appointment to the Micro Planning Board and Board of Adjustment. Town of Benson appointment to the Benson Board of Adjustment. The Sheriff's Office request a surplus vehicle. There's 3 budget revisions, 1 for the Health Department and 2 for the Sheriff's Department. And then there are appointments for the Micro Firefighters Relief Fund Board of Trustees, Johnston County Board of Health, the Tourism Authority, and Veterans Services Advisory Board. And then tax releases and refunds. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda as stated?
I move it be approved as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, consent agenda is approved. So our next item is the, find my notes here, I know what it is. There it is. The presentation of the audit report for year ending June 30th, 2025. And I'll call on our representative from, I had Chad McLam on there. There he comes to introduce this item, and then our auditors will produce the report.
First of all, I'd like to thank our staff and our departments for helping assist with this audit. As you know, every year it's a big undertaking. And I'd also like to thank Thompson Price for their continued diligence and hard work in getting our audit together. It's needed for us to do the things we want to do, and they're great partners. And their audit work gets audited by what they do for us. So they're very, very hard on us, and they look at and make sure we're doing things the right way. And I appreciate that, because we want to do it the right way, and we want to do it the way it's meant to be done, and they do a good job of it. So this is Mr. Alan Thompson making the presentation.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. We appreciate you letting our firm do the audit. You should have two reports. I'm gonna do the smaller one.
Appreciate that.
If you'd be kind enough to flip over to page 1 on that. There's a couple things I have to go through, but the main thing you hire us as an independent audit firm is to issue an opinion on the financial statements as a whole. We issue an unmodified report, which is the best report you can get. So having said that, on page 1, under our responsibility in relation to the financial statement audit, these 3 paragraphs talk about the engagement letter, the professional standards, where we're providing material assurance that the financial statements are correct and not absolute, and that we communicate any findings that we find. And then on page 2, we identify 2 risks almost in every audit that we do: management override of controls and improper revenue recognition. And we plan tests around those items to make sure that we're comfortable with that. Did do the testing, and we are very comfortable with that. Under significant accounting policies, the big one this year was GASB Statement 101. In a nutshell, they put sick leave on the balance sheet, for lack of a better word. So in the past, it's just been a note in the financial statements. There's this long computation that would bore you, but they put it in 3 buckets: the amount you retire with, the amount that goes unused, and the amount that will be used during their employment here. The amount that would be used during the employment gets put on the balance sheet. Significant accounting estimates, whether it's allowance for doubtful accounts, compensated absences, depreciation, etc., we were comfortable with all those estimates. Financial statement disclosures, we were comfortable that they were neutral, consistent, and clear. There were no difficulties encountered in performing the audit. There were no uncorrected misstatements, no disagreements with management. Management did provide us with a representation letter dated January 21st. So I'm on page 3. We're unaware that management consulted the outside accountants, auditors, etc. Under other matters, I always say this because I just personally hate them, but I know they have great use. P cards, always be careful with them. And there's history behind that, so I apologize for that. Then please try to reconcile all the balance sheet accounts to the subsidiary reports as quick as possible. There were a couple budget amendments that had to be made or that were missed. And some of that has to do with some of the new standards that have come out recently that have nothing to do with financial or money being spent, which is like the compensated absences, which is like SABITA, which is subscription-based information technology agreements, which create an expense and a liability and an asset on your books that really aren't, somebody's not writing a check for that. And so some of these items are that. They're also some of the spike in the retirements, things like that, that came on there that weren't your normal items that might have been as a result of this, the budget amendments. There were a couple technical errors in the Medicaid program that are in the larger report, but no question cost, so we're good there. And then if you'd be kind enough to flip over to page 5. I'll say this before I start on some of these numbers. I'm not saying these are all the key numbers in the audit report, but these are some of the key numbers in the audit report. And so to put some context with it, we put the 4 prior year audit report numbers beside it so that you get a feel for it and it's not just a number out in space. So you can see where fund balance in your general funds, $271 million. If you were to go back to 21, you can see that same number is $171 million. The good context of that, when we get to the revenue and expenditure items, look at those so you get a good feel for that as well. Unavailable fund balance is $37.5 million. The other restricted and committed at $34 million. Total general fund expenditures at $369 million. You go back to 21, you see where that's $245 million. This fund balance available as a percentage at 63.47%. It's a big number in terms of LGC, debt committee, all those folks. So still strong, very strong actually. And then you see revenue over and under expenses before transfers. The general fund a positive $15.4 million. The water fund a minus $2.7 million. The wastewater treatment plant at $3.5 million. And then the water district operating fund at $8,086,000 positive, and the solid waste a positive $2,661,000. You see total fixed assets at $828,000 with accumulated depreciation at $200,000. Oh Lord, $828 million. Accumulated depreciation at $216 million with cash at $232 million. Then you see the cash and investment earnings by fund, which I won't bore you by reading all that. The interesting thing on the investment earnings, you go back to 21, you can see what the dramatic change in that over this 5-year period of time. You also see a little bit of a dip from 24 to 25, so as the interest rates, which everybody wants to drop for borrowing purposes, it does have a effect on the other side as well. So it could potentially come down a little bit in 26 as well. And then you see fund balance, again, your general fund, your school bond fund, ARPA fund, water fund, and wastewater fund. The key item that you want to look at is not necessarily your fund balance in any of your business type activities. What you want to look for is cash flow and not fund balance, because as we looked at that $828 million, you're not going to turn around and sell that necessarily. What you want to do is be providing a service that pays for itself to your citizens. You see the property tax rates there, then the collection percentage, which I'm always amazed for the county this size that has such a great collection rate at 99.9%. Then you see total property valuation for all 5 years and total levy amount for all 5 years there, with it being $194,984,000. You'd be kind enough to flip over to page 6. You can see the debt there at the top with total governmental debt at $387 million, total business type activity debt at $445 million. The business type activity debt on the very bottom of that page, there's a $45.7 million duplicate in there, just the way the debt is structured, so the real number there is $400 million. But total debt outstanding, $833 million. If you subtracted that from it, it'd be $793 million. You see total general fund revenues at $369 million, and total general fund expenditures there at $354 million. If you'd be kind enough to flip over to page 7, you see on the top there that bar chart, total fund balance in blue, restricted in red. The analysis of fund balance available there in blue for the county, and the group weighted average there in red. Still a significant margin there between the two. On page 8, it shows cash balances and fund balances in that pie chart at the top. And underneath that, it shows the total cash balances being $553 million and total fund balances being $706 million. On page 9, it shows the collection percentages for taxes and the group weighted average. You can see where the county exceeded the group weighted average for all 5 years. On page 10, you can see your school debt as a percentage of total governmental debt there at 86.79%. On the governmental side, the school debt's percentage of total debt's 58%. And then you can see a breakdown of your general fund revenue, where ad valorem taxes make up 52.57% of their overall amount. You can see a breakdown there of your general fund expenditures, with the largest one being education, then public safety. And then page 12 mentions those findings I talked about earlier. I'm happy to answer any questions you've got of me tonight, but on those snowy nights when you can't do anything else and you read through that big report, you're always welcome to call me, and I'll get you an answer to your question.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Just curious, Alan, the group weighted comparison, is that based on population or budget size? How does that group established?
Well, they kind of screwed it up, to be honest with you. For years, they tried to keep it within a 10 range, a 10 county range based on population. In the last year or so, it became a little bit less useful because they make it everybody above 100 million, everybody below 100 million, so it's not as useful as it was. But in this case, for the most part, we tried to get it close, so I think it is useful.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the board for Mr. Thompson? All right. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Safe trip. All right, the next item on the agenda is the State of the County Address. And it's become customary for the last few years that we actually do this in the form of a video rather than the chairman sitting here reading a an abundance of notes. So I'll ask our public information staff to go ahead and roll that when they're ready. Hello, I'm Patrick Harris, Chairman of the Johnston County Board of Commissioners. On behalf of my fellow commissioners and our county staff, welcome to the annual State of the County Address. As we reflect on 2025, the tremendous work accomplishments across Johnston County, I want to highlight the priorities that guide us throughout the year. Infrastructure, financial stewardship, public safety, education funding, land use, and most importantly, our county employees. Preserving Johnston County's farms and natural areas remains one of the highest land use priorities. This past year, in partnership with the Triangle Land Conservancy, the county helped preserve 635 acres in the Archer Lodge, Benson, Middlesex, and Selma communities. With the county's financial support, the Johnston Soil and Water Conservation District also purchased 2 conservation easements in 2025, ensuring another 202 acres will remain in farming forever. And the first quarter of this year, the Soil and Water expects to preserve an additional 118 acres. Commissioners are putting the finishing touch on a new Unified Development Ordinance. This ordinance will help ensure that we remain true to our comprehensive land use plan, which places a strong emphasis on preserving Johnston County's rural character. Johnston Community College opened its advanced manufacturing training facility last fall in Four Oaks. The center now hosts programs in welding, applied engineering, mechanical and computer integrated machining. We're confident that this facility will help attract good-paying advanced manufacturing jobs to Johnston County. In fact, Vulcan Elements, a manufacturer of rare earth magnets, has already announced plans to train its 1,000 employees there. In late fall, the county began construction on its first ever park. Johnston Regional Park, located in the Cleveland community, will open later this year with 4 pickleball courts, 2 basketball courts, a fishing pond, and ample parking. And that's just phase 1. Future phases will add multi-use fields, walking trails, a playground, a dog park, a disc golf course, a skate park, and an amphitheater. With your input through surveys and community meetings, the county also completed a comprehensive trails and greenways plan in 2025. Recently approved by commissioners, the plan envisions a connected network of trails linking residents to parks, nature preserves, downtown shops, and restaurants, and even neighboring counties. Some folks may one day bike or walk to work right here in Johnston County. As your commissioners, we continue to invest in job creation because we want you to be able to work in the county that you call home. That's why we chose to award incentives to Vulcan Elements, a company producing rare earth materials critical to our nation's defense. We know incentives are not without controversy, and we hear your concerns, but this project has the potential to create 1,000 jobs right here in Johnston County. 1,000 people who won't have to pile in their cars and battle congestion on I-40 or I-95 every day. These will be good jobs paying well above the county average. And it's important to remember these incentives pose no financial risk to the county. If Vulcan fails to meet its hiring and investment targets, it receives nothing. Commissioners also supported bringing college baseball to Smithfield. Beginning in 2027, the Smithfield Tobbs, a wood-bat summer team for college players, will take the field in a stadium that Johnston County will help build. With the creation of a single fire tax district in 2024, Johnston County ensured that all fire departments have the staffing and equipment they need to protect our residents and their property. The innovative approach has drawn attention from other counties across the state, many of which are calling Johnston County to learn how we did it. The county continues to maintain its AAA bond rating, allowing us to borrow money at the lowest possible interest rates. That rating will save Johnston County taxpayers millions of dollars as we pay off debt for new schools, including Swift Creek Elementary, which opened this year, and the new Clayton High School, where construction is now underway. Just as important as these projects are moving hundreds of children out of mobile classrooms and into modern learning environments. Like many of you, I paid a higher property tax bill in 2025 following the countywide revaluation and the tax rates set by commissioners. And like you, I had grown accustomed to tax bills that actually decreased from year to year thanks to rate cuts adopted in recent years. But this year, the county faced needs that simply could not be postponed. Much of the additional revenue went toward new hires in critical departments, including emergency services, where commissioners approved 16 new positions. We added staff in social services, public health, and 911 communications, among others. These investments ensure that the county can respond to emergencies, providing life-saving care and support our most vulnerable residents. Looking ahead, in 2026, the county will complete expansions of its water and sewer plants. Paid for by water and sewer users, these projects will ensure that Johnston County has the capacity to welcome new industries, shops, restaurants, and families in the years ahead. Thank you for joining me for the State of the County address. I'm proud to report that the state of Johnston County is strong and growing stronger as we continue to focus on the board's priorities. We are truly blessed to live in one of the greatest counties in North Carolina, and it remains our aim as commissioners to serve you well. Thank you for being here, and God bless you.
Good job, Mr. Chairman.
Right.
Yeah, nice.
Except for that guy talking, it was a pretty good video. I don't know. All right, thank you so much to our PIO staff for the great job that they've done. A little bit of housekeeping. I need to go back and request a motion to approve the audit as presented to the board.
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the audit as presented.
All right.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, let it be done by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carried. Apologize for that. It got out of order, so it got me out of order. So, all right, next item on the agenda is public comments. In the very beginning, I'd like to ask Ryan Parker to come and give an update on the board on the fire EMS study. Our Emergency Services Director, Mr. Parker, welcome.
Good evening, Chairman. Good evening, Board. Thank you for having us tonight. I do want to provide an update for what we're engaged with Mosley Architecture and Matrix Consulting. As approved by the Board, we commissioned a study in the summer of 2025 to produce a fire and EMS station study that's going to help guide us in the future of putting EMS and fire stations where they need to be. I'm happy to report that we have met with Mr. Terry Lewis of Matrix Consulting on February the 6th, and we've gone through the first draft of it. We were able to give some feedback to him and provide some emphasis on some certain things that we need to see in this study, and he's going to report back to us with a second round, and we should have something ready to show y'all at the end of March, beginning of April, and he's ready to do a presentation to both the Board of Commissioners and the Fire Commission. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for Mr. Parker? I think everyone's excited to see the results of the survey and the analysis, and the other thing that really accomplishes a lot of is the fact that it puts data and science behind the location of the public safety stations as we move forward. So that's going to be a welcome change. So thank you.
There are some things that that were confirmed by our own analysis, and some things that we learned along the way. So we're very excited about it. So thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next part is public comments. Anyone in the audience that would like to address the board, is items that are not already on the agenda can come forward at this time. State your name, general location, your town or township residence. Before I go through the rest of that, is there anyone here that would like to address the board during public comments? Any emails, Madam Clerk, for the public comment? All right. We will move on then. So the next item on the agenda is a public hearing, rezoning conditional use request, case 2512, and I will open the conditional zoning district hearing and ask our planning director, Braxton Newton, to come forward and provide us the background.
Sir, good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. So your first case this evening is 25-12. This is a petition to rezone 3.9 acres of a 42.5 acre parcel located in the 200 block of Langdon Rd. From agriculture residential to general business conditional zoning district. Owner and applicant is Langdon Road Farm, LAN LLC, and the conditional zoning request involves the uses as listed in the staff report, and these are contractors office with storage yard, mini storage, and open storage. Primarily, the surrounding land uses or surrounding zonings and land uses are agriculture and residential. There is a nearby general business, former SU special use district, which is an older zoning district we used to have. We're no longer allowed to have those or use those. And that is an auto and equipment repair. And then there is another special use district, an agricultural residential special use district for a cell tower. Traffic concerns, Langdon Rd does not have a published traffic count from NCDOT, and it is listed as a secondary road having adequate design capacity on our land or on a comprehensive transportation plan. With regard to our land use plan, this area is designated a rural living place type. And these are characterized by low-density residential development with larger lots and integrated open space. I'm glad to answer any questions you may have. You will see in the staff report the listed conditions as proposed and negotiated to this point with the applicant, and that would be on page 61 of your agenda packet. And also, there is a site plan that was provided by the applicant as required by the application process, and that you will see on page 79 of your packet as well. And this does show an access only off of Langdon Road. One thing to mention about the balance of the 42.5, roughly 42.5 acres is that has already been approved by the planning board for a residential development. So there is that to consider as well. Staff is ready to answer any questions you may have for us.
Any questions for Mr. Newton? All right, hearing none, then we will hear from the applicant regarding the request and proposed conditions. Welcome, sir. If you would, please state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, good evening. My name is Jonathan Barnes. I'm employed at Dalton Engineering and Associates. Our office is located at 446 East Main Street, Clayton, North Carolina. Our office is assisting the ownership group with the rezoning application as presented tonight. I believe Mr. Braxton did their job as far as the proposed uses for the property. The conditions that are listed are acceptable to the applicant for the project. On the site layout that's provided, there is an existing structure on the property. And part of that structure extends into the building setback. And the applicant has agreed to basically remove that portion of the building to get, so that the site plan would be in compliance, for the parcel. I'm here tonight to help answer any questions that I can. There's also a representative of the owner that's also here to help answer any questions that the board may have.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Barnes?
I had a question. So I know from the planning board, it was talking about a contractor yard and a storage lot. Is that still the idea, or is it still mainly just going to be an outdoor storage lot? Because it looks like more outdoor storage on this site plan versus a contractor yard. Outdoor storage.
Outdoor storage.
Okay.
All right. Any other?
I guess, could you clarify when you say mini storage? I mean, I saw the pictures and I see the stuff that's there with the storage in it, but what is the mini storage?
Sam, if you don't mind.
That was
Come
my
on,
fault.
sir.
That was my next question.
State your name and address for the record.
Good evening,
please.
Board. I'm Sam Jones. I'm at 1848 NC Highway 50 South. I am one of the owners and developers of this project. As Jonathan said, we actually bought the whole Wheeler tract, and we are doing a residential subdivision on the majority of it. But there was an active storage warehouse, potato house, whatever you may call it. There's a nice building there on site, and we're trying to find a way to preserve that building. there was an aerial shot
So I was like, we pulled the
that was
GIS.
displayed. That is no longer accurate. We have cleaned up all of that junk and tractor trailers and everything that was there left to us. All that is gone. It is gonna be brought up to code, and what we're trying to do is take the building and like a landscape contractor or a general contractor, a builder, a painter, somebody that works in the community, will have an opportunity to rent this building and have a lay-down yard, storage yard area to keep trailers, trucks, equipment, whatever they may need to store material, there with it. The reason that it said mini storage was because we were trying to kind of open ourselves up to having more than one option of what we could do with it. But being that it kind of contradicts itself, we have focused more on having outdoor storage to go along with the building. There probably will not be any mini storage buildings put on it, and if there is in the future, we will come back and ask for permission to do that. So that's where we're at.
So does that mean we could remove mini storage at this point in time?
That is correct.
Okay.
Okay.
And is there any, other than cosmetic, I don't know that any structural changes, but is there any just cosmetic changes to what's there?
Yeah, we're gonna go, the building needs a few upgrades, and we'll go through inspections like we're supposed to if we change anything structural or electrical. But pretty much what you can see if you'll zoom in, the part that has a different colored roof, we're gonna take that down. And that's gonna allow it to be, out of the setback and out of the right of way.
So if that's what's shown in the pic, that's the open area
I was about to say,
closest
if you
to
go
the
on
road,
Google-
Kind of the open area is what's,
the different color.
south of the photograph.
Yeah, if you go on Google Earth, it's showing how they've got it all cleared up. It doesn't look like that on
Yeah,
GIS.
so like right there is gonna be all your open area.
Okay.
And then there'll be a little bit right here. There's actually a concrete pad here, but all of this,
It's all
we cleaned
going.
all
yeah.
this up.
It's
and I
gone in
have-
the picture.
Yeah, and we have demo
Yeah.
permits on the structures, the 254 and the 380. It's an old labor camp and an old house. Those are actually coming down.
So is that, you talking about the gray portion there, what's shown as that roof on the long building, that's what's
Yeah,
coming?
you see how it's two different colors?
Yeah.
Yep, so the darker portion will actually be
Okay.
coming down. It was added on before we purchased the property.
And is that all of the open spaces I'm looking at?
Yeah.
Okay. So really no new facilities?
No, sir, we have no plans to, like I said, as far as update and bring up to code the existing structure. That's all we intend to do.
And is the intent for a single tenant or to be divided for lots of storage?
The only way that I could see that it would be divided for multiple uses is if like one tenant just wanted the building and then we allowed people to park stuff there in the open storage space. But as of the main intent is to rent the whole thing to one person. Or use it ourselves in the time being.
And I just want to clarify, because Commissioner Lauder answered one of the questions I was going to have with regards to mini storage. With this being conditional zoning, and this might be a question for Braston, because we're removing that it will be mini storage for this, it will not be feasible for it to be mini storage moving forward, because this is only for this conditional zoning, correct?
That is correct. So if it is purview of the board to find in favor of the application, we just have to make that amendment stated in the motion.
Okay, thank you. Not that y'all would, but if it's
Well,
not.
I'm not sure if we're able to have more than one conditional use, but if we could have it on there as an option, that would be, positive for us. If that is an option, but if not, we would like to go with just open storage.
I'd find it more favorable if it was just open storage and not
Yeah.
opening the door to mini storage, which could,
Agreed.
yeah.
That's fine. And that is our main plan with it. It's not quite big enough to,
And then I didn't
But
see.
people are putting them
well, they are.
in the
They're
tiniest
tucking
places
them on every
on
corner.
on traveled roads.
We're trying to go after
Against the road.
something that there's a strong demand in the county, and there's really nowhere for a small contractor or somebody just getting started to have somewhere to operate out of. 'Cause,
Right.
they're not allowed to operate out of a storage unit. And nobody's putting in a contractor yard. And if they are, there's not a lot of them. So.
Yeah.
And then I didn't see any times on the conditions or operating hours. Do those need to be included?
What have we typically, I know most everything we do has hours of operation. I know being the contractor yard, there'll be some early morning, that'd be daylight to dark plus a little bit on either side, but what have we done in the past on those? Do you know off the top of your head?
I just didn't know if we needed to have that included or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so historically, we have seen a variation of start times and close times. Typically 6:30 a. However, AM would be the opening or an initial time, morning hours. That may prove to be a little bit problematic, considering it's construction industry or if it's used for that purpose. And then it would be probably a 7 PM is what I would say for the other. Typically, you may have some summer hours where they may go past that, especially if you have the likes of a concrete finisher, correct? And they may go into the hours.
They may start at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, just as long as we're not 3 o'clock. And I would say, keep in mind the noise, the county's noise ordinance, which has that time frame on it in the late night hours. So we just need to be mindful of that, as there is a residential development approved for the balance of that 42 acres.
And we don't have a map showing the residential development in relation to this.
I do not, but I can tell you that if on the
There is only one lot that borders it.
yeah, there is one lot that borders it, and the driveway or the access, the new street entering the subdivision,
Ms. Reese, could you back to that aerial
Yeah.
photograph you had up a minute ago?
or the site plan, either one.
Yeah, that's good.
So basically, where you see that
Use that
line
pointer,
of trucks
Yeah.
and whatnot. there.
Use the pointer so everybody can see where you're talking about.
Yeah.
So here
Yeah.
this is approximately where the entrance to the development would be. But there would be only a single lot, I think, on this side that would back up.
But the rest of them is to the right side of that?
You have lots here and on this side
Okay.
over here.
I've got one on my phone if you want me to pull it up.
No, I think that's good
So
enough for me.
Your drive is essentially in this area.
There's nothing in between the building and the subdivision besides the road, except on the back side, like Braston said. And there is a fence and a landscape buffer and mesh fabric
Yeah,
going up all the
yeah,
way around
okay,
it.
I saw that in the,
Any other
Right.
questions for Mr. Jones or Mr. Newton while he's up there?
I can't think of any.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
Is there anyone here from the public that wants to speak on this project? All right, seeing none. And we'll close the public discussion portion of the hearing. And I'll ask Mr. Newton to come back and summarize and present the planning board's recommendation.
Yes, sir. Sir, in the matter of case 25-12, Planning Board does recommend approval and offers for your consideration a consistency statement included in your packet. Just keep in mind whatever action is taken, if it is approval, any items that were mentioned to be amended to the conditional zoning will need to be addressed in the motion.
Any questions for Mr. Newton or discussion or either clarifications of the conditions by the board?
I did have a question. So the other conditional zoning that's to the north, what is that? Looks like it's on the other side of a small subdivision.
That is a conditional district. I think that is the actual conditional district we spoke of in the staff report that's associated with auto and equipment.
Okay.
Because the circle back down to the south is that is GB as well. I'm not sure what that one is because that was not reported on the staff report. The AR toward the top is the cell tower. Which would be back to the east, I guess. Or, yeah, west. Sorry.
Does the board have any desire to modify the conditions that were presented on the board up there? Is there anything additional or changes to that?
No, I think we
It said
removed.
taken out
Yeah,
from
removed the
mini
mini storage.
Okay.
I'll just remind the board that we will need, we'll need affirmation, verbal affirmation from the applicant.
Okay.
Once those-
Next on my list. I just want to make sure we get the conditions correct
Yes, sir.
before we ask it. Any other changes to the conditions? All right. Mr. Jones, do you have, are you in agreement with those final conditions as proposed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. At this point, we'll close the hearing, and we'll ask the board's recommendations.
Mr. Chair, I move to adopt the statement of consistency resolution as presented in the agenda packet with the removal of mini storage as one of the conditions and approved rezoning request with the conditions I just removed and the others remain the same, so.
I second.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this case? Hearing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Case passes. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Jones. All right, next item on the agenda is case 2513. And Mr. Newton, while you're there at the podium, I'll open the conditional zoning district hearing and ask you to give us background, please.
Yes, sir. 25-13 involves a petition to rezone approximately 77 acres in the 2300 block of Richardson Bridge Rd from agricultural residential to industrial 2 conditional zoning. Owner is Neil M. Howe Revocable Trust, and the applicant is LA Aggregate Materials LLC. The conditional zoning request is for a sand pit, so essentially an earth products extraction. Surrounding zonings and land uses are AR and used for residential agricultural purposes, and I-2 SUD, which again is another sand mining or sand pit operation, and you will see that on screen as it is adjacent to the subject site. Traffic concerns, Richardson Bridge Rd is low volume at 650 vehicles per day. This is a 2023 count. Although we know this is not a current count, we do not anticipate a current count being much higher than that, if higher at all. With regard to our land use plan, this area is designated as open space and conservation place type, which denotes consisting primarily of undisturbed open space. And you will see a lengthy list of conditions in the staff report, and these are identical to those that are established as specific standards within our ordinance as it currently is adopted, and these are extensive. A lot of these mimic the state standards for development of sand mines or sand pits, and addition to that, I do believe there is a site plan located in your packet as well, and this would be on page 105 of your packet. Not much there. It is a sand pit. Not much there to see, but I am glad to answer any questions you may have.
I have one, Mr. Chairman.
All right, sir.
Within the last year or so, we rezoned another tract down there for the same purpose. How close is it to this one? Do you remember?
There was one a couple of years ago, I think, that's actually adjacent to this or close to it. There are numerous in that area, general area, Richardson Bridge Rd and others, but the soils there are quite conducive.
Any other questions from Mr. Newton? All right, this time we hear from the applicant. Is there anyone here to represent the applicant?
Somebody left earlier.
All right, so there is no applicant here?
No, sir.
Okay. Customarily, we will table this until the applicant.
I move it be tabled,
All
Mr.
right.
Chairman.
We have a motion to table this
To our March
to our March
2nd meeting,
second meeting.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
6 o'clock, okay?
All right. Do we
I'll
have a
second that motion.
All right. Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That will be tabled to the March meeting. All right. Next item on the agenda is the Partnership for Children Proclamation Family Support Awareness Month. Everyone come join us for the partnership there. Welcome.
evening, Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Lauren Trogdon. I'm the Family Supports Manager at the Partnership for Children. I'm here this evening to acknowledge and celebrate the importance and the value that this county has shown in our young citizens. Through your generosity, you have helped support and show public priority to parents for early education, play groups, peer support groups, and for parent education. Your commitment to this partnership ensures that our young citizens have a strong foundation and that their parents do not have to navigate early childhood alone. We're excited to be here tonight to hear the proclamation for Family Support Awareness Month. This official recognition does more than just raise awareness. It sends a heartfelt message to every family in Johnston County that they are seen, valued, and supported by their community leaders. So thank you very much.
Thank you for being here, and I've asked Vice Chairman Lauder to present the proclamation for the board's approval.
All right, this is the Family Support Awareness Month proclamation, whereas a child's first 5 years of life are a critical period for brain development, which significantly impacts lifelong success, and a consistent relationship with a nurturing adult is a key factor in a child's development. And whereas many parents and caregivers begin the challenging lifelong responsibility of raising a child feeling unprepared, and children have a stronger, healthier start when their parents and caregivers have the support and skills needed to raise them. And whereas family support programs help parents and caregivers meet the unique needs of their children, promote healthy development, strengthen family relationships, reduce the risk of abuse and neglect, and promote equity. And whereas the Partnership for Children of Johnston County serves a vital community resource offering family support services that empower children, parents, and caregivers, including providing parent education programs, addressing concrete needs, and fostering social connections. And whereas supporting high-quality early childhood organizations like Partnership for Children of Johnston County can lead to significant long-term benefits for parents and caregivers that strengthen our community, including increased educational attainment, higher earnings, reduced crime, and better health outcomes. Now, therefore, the Johnston County Board of Commissioners hereby proclaims February 2026 as Family Support Awareness Month in Johnston County and commends this observance to all our citizens adopted today. And, Mr. Chair, I make that in the form of a motion that we adopt this proclamation.
All right, we have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Proclamation carries. Thank you very much. Appreciate all you do in the community.
Personal note, Lauren, are you related to General,
To who, I'm sorry?
the General Trogdon?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I guess that would be a no.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the Johnston County Committee for America 250 NC. And I think Allison Elsey is to present. Good evening, ma'am. How are you doing?
Chairman Harris, honorable members of the board. My name is Allison Elsey, and I reside right here in Smithfield. And I'm before you tonight as the chairperson of the America 250 Committee for Johnston County. Wanted to bring the board up to date on what we have going on in celebration of the semi-quincentennial. The next thing on our radar is the dedication of our Tuscarora mural in downtown Smithfield, which is going to be part of our celebration. It'll be held on March 14th at 11 a.m. We would love for you all to be there. This will include storytelling, music, and dance by members of the Tuscarora Nation of North Carolina. Next on the agenda, in the late spring, we're anticipating having historical bus tours that will go all around the county and feature historical buildings and really with an architectural focus. And that's going to be coming together in the late spring. Then the big event is going to be on June 27th, and that's at the Johnston Community College. It'll be an all-day celebration, which it's on June 27th, and conveniently the very next day would be Johnston County's 280th birthday on June 28th, although it's America's 250th a few days later on 4th of July. But we're going to combine those two events on June 27th at the college, and it will include a living history encampment put on by Camp Flintlock. They'll have a parade, cannon firing, period costumes. It'll just be like going back into time to the Revolutionary eras. There will be a display of art and history put on by both the Johnston County Arts Council as well as the Johnston County Heritage Center, and those historical banners and tell our story. Pretty much, we're also going to be putting on a puppet show. That'll be done by the Clayton Women's Club, and they're very excited about being in on our celebration. There will be carriage rides all around the campus there at the college. There will be food and craft vendors, as well as information booths from some of our local organizations, which include like the DAR. There are a number of find your genealogical opportunities to find your connection to past historical veterans. And then the big thing that weekend is that we will be putting on a production of the Broadway musical 1776, which is by Peter Stone and will be directed by Andrew Wade of Clayton. That's going to be Friday and Saturday nights, June 26th and 27th at the college at 8 p.m., and then a matinee performance on Sunday, the 28th, at 3 p.m., all at the auditorium. And then we will also, as part of our celebration, we will be commemorating 3 historical markers of Revolutionary War focused markers that are going to be in both Smithfield and Meadow. We are in getting the markers made. We're waiting to have those in hand before we schedule the date for the dedication. And then one more thing that was not on our notes tonight, Johnston County is hoping to participate in, we do these regular Zoom meetings with the North Carolina Department of Natural and Cultural Resources. And so they get all of the counties. I think there are 88 counties involved now. Is that right? At least. So almost 100% participation of county participation. But Buncombe County had this idea that they wanted to do a commemoration for the semi-quincentennial to have a Beyond the Liberty Tree. And each county plant a tree, and to participate, you go through Buncombe County, and there's a small, I think it's a couple of $250 application fee. But we would have a tree, and our teammate who is heading up that effort is in front of the Four Oaks Town Council right this minute. So he couldn't be with us tonight to tell you about it, but he has chosen a spot, and I enjoyed your video, by the way. It's going to be at the Four Oaks campus of the new Johnston Community College. And he's gotten that site approved, and he's ironing out the fine details with them, and there'll be a bench and a plaque, a marker to commemorate that. And the money that we pay to Buncombe County goes toward their reforestation after Hurricane Helene. So I think that shows some goodwill. And one last little vignette. A couple of weeks ago, the North Carolina Museum of Art had their donor appreciation dinner. And I just happened to be going, and I had no idea who was going to be the keynote speaker. It was the Secretary of the Department of Natural and Cultural Resources, Secretary Pam Cashwell. And I meet her as we're mingling around, and I said, well, coincidentally, I'm a county chairperson myself. And so off the cuff, but I didn't know she was going to be the keynote speaker, and so off the cuff, I kind of gave her what I just gave to you guys with notes, and I started listening, and she was like, wow, y'all really have it going on. And I was like, well, come on down, come to Johnston County. So a few minutes later, the dinner gets underway, and she stands up to give her keynote address, and starts telling all the patrons there about what all's going on for America 250. And She was like, and Johnston's in the house. Where's my chairperson? And I raised my little hand, and she starts rattling off what we've got going on down here, and I got a very polite round of applause from everybody at the whole dinner, but Johnston County got our shout out. And just want to thank y'all for everything, and we do hope that y'all will be with us on the 27th and definitely on March 14th when we dedicate the mural too. Thank you so much. If you have any questions,
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you're coordinating with other things within the county, like the Farm Life Museum, for example, in Kinley. It looks like everything will be headquartered at the college. Do you know if those entities will have a presence at the college during this time, or do they have their own thing?
Oh, most definitely.
Definitely.
Yes, they'll be invited to show up and have a booth or a space.
Great.
We have plenty of room at the JCC campus for everybody.
Secretary Cashwell was recently at the museum, and she spoke about it. We had the fundraiser breakfast with the commissioner last Friday.
Oh, timely.
And she was speaking there, and she talked about her heritage being an indigenous.
Well, so we invited her
Yeah,
to the mural
that's great.
dedication too,
Yeah,
so I
that's
hope
great.
she'll come.
That's great.
But thank y'all so much.
And Mr. Chairman, I was not here when it all started.
I heard him say that, Commissioner Godwin.
So I'm Todd Johnson, Director of the Johnston County Heritage Center, also Vice Chair of the County Committee for America 250. And I would just like to talk a little bit about the money that it is funding all these wonderful things that are happening in celebration of our America 250. We've gotten $40,000 in grants from the state, from the Department of Natural and Cultural Resources. $10,000 went toward the mural. The actual cost of the Tuscarora mural ended up being about $17,000. So we're having to, and we're absorbing that in the Heritage Center's budget. But those funds have already been spent. We also have $30,000 in community grants that are going toward developing a historical tour guidebook. There will also be an online tour guide for historic sites and buildings in Johnston County. And we're going to use that to launch these tours that we're doing, the bus tours that we're going to do in probably late May. Another portion of the funds of the $30,000 grant will go toward historical markers. The Heritage Center started a historical marker program about 6 years ago. And so we're able to get these extra funds and do more markers this year and over the next couple of years. And so that's what the state grant funds are going for. We need to come up with funds to put on this big celebration at JCC and to do some of these other things to, help with the cost overrun for the Tuscarora mural. And I know we don't want to take up too much time, but I want to explain why there was such a cost overrun. We originally, for $10,000, we could have done a fairly small mural. And when we found the appropriate building, which is the old, what I call the old Medlin Printing Company building that kind of faces the magistrates, the courthouse annex. That was the perfect space for it. And our Tuscarora friends from Robeson County came and looked at downtown Smithfield. And when they saw that building, they thought, oh, this is the perfect place for it. We can put, a bench there, and there's just so much you can do with that space. Well, that wall just was too large for the small mural that we had planned. So we just, decided we're going to dig deep and just, make a way to do an appropriately large mural. So that's what happened there. We also, we have a lot of wonderful volunteers working with us on different aspects of the programs and the celebration, but nobody has big blocks of time. They don't have several months of their life that they can put on hold to devote to this, the planning of this event, the coordination of this big event, especially the one at the end of June. So I have taken some quotes from firms that do event planning. And so in order to be able to hire an event coordinator, we're probably going to have to come up with up to $18,000. We're trying to get that down lower because the Visitors Bureau is committed to helping us promote. And Adam, the Public Information Department here in the county is going to help us promote. So we're hoping some of the marketing costs, can be brought down. But we're asking the county for $30,000 to help us put on this big celebration for our county and for our nation.
Mr. Chairman,
All right, yes, sir.
in order, I move that we approve the request.
Okay.
We only get to do this every 250 years.
And if Commissioner Godwin thinks so.
I'm still speechless.
Give him a checkbook.
So we have a motion on the floor to fund the $30,000 request for the America 250.
As a ex officio member of the Heritage Center, and I enjoy, Michelle and I enjoy those meetings and see the good work that is going on there, I'll make a second.
All right, so we have, go ahead. No, sir, go ahead.
Do we need to have anything about an amount not to exceed 30,000?
I was going to say up to 30 is probably our manager's preference, as it is with most things.
Yeah.
And that's only because of the, moving around, just trying to
Yeah.
get the best prices on things. That would be my recommendation, but certainly up to the
Up
board.
to how Rick is.
So Mr. Godwin has amended his motion to read up to, not to exceed $30,000. How's that? We have
Yeah.
a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion?
I was just going to say that, typically we don't act on things the first time we hear it, but I would say this is going to happen once in our lifetime. I think that's a certain statement. And I think that it's for the planning they all need to take and know you have the money available to go ahead and do that is critical. So I think making an exception is very appropriate here.
Well stated. I agree. And Ms. Elsie, thank you for your leadership on it, and Todd also as well.
It's going to be wonderful. It really
I have no doubt.
I'm sure it is.
Very
Any further
excited.
discussion?
I'm just excited. I know I feel like we already had a sneak peek with it from the Heritage Commission meeting a couple of weeks ago. So I'm excited to see the planning and all the stuff that's going to come out of it. I'm really excited.
It'll be an exciting time. All in favor of the motion and second, please let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations. Make us proud. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for all your.
Thank you.
All right.
Sorry if I breached protocol.
I think it's very appropriate.
Very appropriate.
Yeah.
And when Mr. Godwin gets excited about spending money, we.
Yeah.
He knows we're too
I'm
calm.
excited about this
Absolutely.
celebration.
Yeah.
When I came back to the county, of course, I grew up here, but we were in the middle of celebrating the 250 years of the county, 1996. 30 years, wow.
It's a long time ago. All right, the appointments that were discussed earlier, the ballots that were left at the seats for the planning board appointments, those have been tallied, and the 5 applicants that are being appointed to the planning board are Brooke Holmes, Gary Lovering, Jay Sasser, Jared Crenshaw, and Chad Holloman. All right, thank you.
Can I have one comment on that? I know
Yes, sir.
the one position that didn't reapply was Will Letchworth, who, how long has he been a member of that board?
16.
Chairman Letchworth, as it is currently, has been a member of that board for now 18 years. So that is to be commended because it is a thankless job, and he has done, in his short tenure as chair over the last several years, he has done a fantastic job and a valuable asset to the county.
I would agree with that. So, yeah, I would just say thank you to Mr. Letchworth for all those years of service. And you're right, it is not a fun position, and you wear a large target on you, particularly as chairman. So thank him for his dedication to the people
We
of
certainly will
Johnston
pass that
County.
along tomorrow evening.
Yeah, absolutely. On behalf of the board, thank you, Mr.
Yes.
Chairman, or Vice Chairman, for bringing that up. That's a good point. All right, item number 10 is delinquent tax collection report. We have Ms. Andrews to come forth and present that, please.
Well, good morning, Mr. Okay, I've done this twice tonight. I'm used to the morning meetings. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioner.
Good evening.
Not only is this not the morning meeting, I'm not used to the report looking so old when we get to it. So this is, before you is the December collections report. So it's based on year-end, calendar year-end. As you can see, at that point, we were close to 80% collections. Needless to say, I have seen the number since then, and we are much closer to where we want to be this time of year, but that will be coming in 2 weeks. Everybody can just hold their breath until that time. So anyway, I'll be happy to take any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Andrews?
We'll talk about it later, never mind.
No, I was just going to say thank you again for your staff. As we saw in the audit presented earlier in the meeting, kudos to you and your staff. If you can just please pass on a thank you to the staff tomorrow morning of all the hard work that they go and do every day. Like I said, our accounting employees make us proud every day, and so please pass that along to them.
And I
in the morning.
appreciate you saying that. Again, some of them is very much a thankless job at times, but it's also very rewarding. But I will definitely pass it on. I've got a great team and definitely could not do this job without them. So thank you for those comments. I will pass it along.
I will ask my question. There's some mail that had gone missing that affected some taxpayers. Has that broadened any, or is it sort of settled out?
When I got back from being away at the workshop for the better part of 2 days, I had a piece of mail sitting on my desk, and it was a taxpayer who had mailed a piece of mail in Florida on the 15th of December, which is about the time period that's in question. For those that might be listening or don't really know what we're talking about, there's a period of time around the middle of December where a lot of people, or not a lot, but some taxpayers submitted their property tax payments to our bank in Charlotte, which is the voucher at the bottom of the bill. Some of those have yet not been received. However, what was interesting is they mailed it in a way that it tracked. It wasn't certified mail, but there was a tracking system, so I take it was probably commercial property. But they tracked it, and it was interesting to see what happened. It mailed from Florida on the 15th of December. It got to Charlotte on the 10th of February, which was last week. And it bounced. I mean, I kind of hate to go there, but I'm going to go there. It bounced between the Fayetteville Service Center and I don't remember if it was Greensboro Service Center. It went back and forth between the two like 4 and 5 times. And then got lost for a period of time and then eventually showed back up in Charlotte. I will say we are getting some of those, but we're not getting a lot of them. So, we're working with taxpayers if they can, if they bring it to our attention and, they have certain substantiation, by all means, we will work with them and help resolve that matter as best
Of course,
we can.
any remedies that we have will have to be dictated by what statute says we can
That
do.
is correct. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. State law, sure is.
All right. Any other questions for Ms. Andrews? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the manager reports and comments. Mr. Hester?
No report tonight, but thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. And then board reports and comments. I'll start with Commissioner Stevens down there, if you have anything you'd like to add.
Yeah, just wanted to say, going through the audit and the report that we got earlier, it was interesting and exciting to see, the first things he said was where the majority of the money in this county is spent. And it first goes to schools and second goes to public safety. And I just think that goes right in line with what our priorities are for this board. And I thought it was really good to see on a pie chart just the amount of money that it takes to run a school system and public safety. And so, when we have things such as property evaluations and we have to adjust tax rates, I love what you said in the state of the county is the majority of this money is being spent back on its citizens. And I just hope that that people heard that. And again, kudos to the board for sticking to what the priorities are of this county.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner Rose?
Last week, I was able to attend the Ladies Auxiliary Awards banquet down in Meadow for the fire department, and I just wanted to say that was just such a treat to see the community of Meadow, how they came together, and the hospitality was wonderful, and just people were so nice, and that was just a highlight of last week. I just wanted to mention that.
Absolutely. Thank you. Commissioner Pace Davis?
Yeah, I was just going to echoing back on our planning session. I know whenever we didn't have our February meeting, it kind of still threw us all off from the snow and then the ice and all the things. But it was still a really great 2 days. I know it was a long 2 days, but it was still really good to be able for all of us just to be able to sit down, communicate, talk through things, and reinforce those priorities that we do have. And so looking back on being on the board for a year, it was really neat to see how all those priorities and goals were able to be checked off the list. And so exciting to look forward to another year.
Thank you. Commissioner Stovall?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One thing I'd like to share is that last week I had the opportunity to attend a ribbon cutting for a new regional readiness center for the North Carolina National Guard. And when I worked with the Department of Public Safety, one of the last projects I worked on was helping them identify sites to collapse these small county-based armories into regional readiness centers that were located in central locations. We started in the west. The Morgan facility was the first to open. Thankfully, it opened just a few months before the Hurricane Selene hit the mountain, so they were well positioned to respond with assets off of that base. One I attended was just just east of Greensboro, near McLeansville. It'll serve the Piedmont region, the northern Piedmont region of the state. I met quite a few folks from Johnston County in the Guard when I was up there, which was very pleasant. But this was an economy move. It increases rapid response capability for the Guard. I recognize their mission has evolved tremendously, particularly with the war on terror, and now with border issues and things like that. So it's really putting them into a much better position. The next one's going to be in the Rocky Mount area. There's a former prison we identified there that was deactivated that would make a good site. And there's several more beyond that, but that's as funding comes down from the feds. But it's a great day for the Guard.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. Commissioner Godwin?
Yeah, I want to thank each of you board members for showing up a little bit early this evening. We met with the Veterans Council Advisory Board. Lieutenant Colonel Boyette, our Veteran Service Officer, was arranged to have them come over here to meet the commissioners. And they do a good job. They meet every other month, I think, and be about the business of supporting the veterans. And they just wanted a chance to put a face with a name and vice versa. So I appreciate y'all taking the time to do that.
Thanks, sir. Vice Chairman Law?
I guess a couple things. One is just touch on the strategic planning sessions we had. Again, I think they're very productive, not only for our staff to know, what direction for us to know, but for the people of Johnston County to know and have something they can go watch, and eventually a summary of that. So we are establishing a plan, and I know Commissioner Stovall talks about that a lot, about having a plan and then having a backup plan to that plan. But I think that's one thing that we can say that this board has done, particularly over the last 4 years, if we have developed a plan, and even in the audit, I mean, you saw that our plan to reduce the fund balance as we begin this building program, and that we're tracking and following that plan as well. But the other thing I wanted to talk about, Commissioner Rose had mentioned the Ladies Auxiliary in Meadow, which was a great event. But the firefighters, the Johnston County Firefighters Association met last Thursday, and really was a story of how public safety in itself, every segment from the 911 folks receiving the call and dispatching, in this case I think it was 4 fire departments, the EMS was involved, Sheriff's Department, we had then I can't remember these folks with the helicopters from ECU, the hospital system, and it just one step after another that led to saving a life of a 5-year-old little girl who was there. It was her birthday, and got to celebrate that, and that was a very somber moment, but it was a great time to recognize and appreciate what our public safety people do day in and day out. And I said there, in my role as my job, I have no chance of making that kind of impact, but they do that, go out there and every day have that opportunity to make a difference in people's lives. And that was really, I'll say, an emotional moment to see that celebration and that little 5-year-old girl, come up and eat her cupcake there. So, but again, appreciate what our public safety people do.
Can I tack onto that? The 911 communicator that helped take that call was one of my former students when I was teaching. So nice little brag moment on Miss Sydney that was works one of our county employees, but also worked that shift that night to help take that call.
That's fantastic. That was a very touching moment. I have to say, I don't think there was a dry eye in the house, but I just want to take a couple of minutes and thank our county finance team, Mr. McLam and his staff, for the awesome job that they do, and the constant vigilance over the finances for the county, making sure that things are done properly. I also want to thank our PIO staff for their outstanding work on everything that we endeavor. They work diligently to try to make us look better I'm not sure they did a great job with me, but that's okay. We made it through it, but thank you so much for that. Our planning session, the 2 days, the amazing thing that we walk away from those things every year is the board's ability to sit together and plan the future and be respectful of each other. We have lots of different ideas, lots of different viewpoints, but it works well together. And I'm so thankful to be a part of a board that gets along and focuses on what's good for the people, for the people's business, and that's what it's all about. It's not about us. And so, that being said, we do need to have a closed session, so I'll entertain a motion for that.
Which did the appointments?
I did.
Oh.
I did. Do you want me to read them again?
No. Mr. Chair, I move that the board go into closed session for the purposes of consulting with an attorney employed by the board in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A3, and to establish or instruct staff concerning the negotiation of the price and terms of the contract concerning the acquisition of real property pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A5.
All right, I have a motion.
Second.
And a second. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Board will go into closed session as soon as we have an opportunity to clear the room. Thank you.